This is Paul Herman, the Prince of Motivation and host of Zaka Presents My Journey. We're creating this vulnerable and positive platform where you get inspired and motivated from different leaders from our community. Today, our guest is the one and only Miss Veronica Moya, who is an intuitive coach for children and teens. Veronica, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Very
Uh,
happy to be here.
The pleasure is all ours. And I just want to let you know that the energy that you already possess, I already know where this interview is going to go.
You're very nice. You're very positive yourself. Very good.
Look, it looks like you're bringing in that sunshine after the rain. So we're going to rock with our first question right now. The first question I definitely want to let our listeners know, and also to help me out as well, too. Give us a little bit more about your cultural background and where you grew up.
Sure. So I'm from Argentina originally, Buenos Aires. I grew up there. And I don't know, what should I say? I usually end there and then I jump to when, I came to the States. I don't know. I don't think it's very original. I wanted to come to the States since I was very little. But again, my country was extremely limited. I was born and grew up during the military regime.
Yep.
It was extremely over the top restricted. Like there was like no TVs. We had all the TV we were able to, we had at the time was I Dream of Jeannie, Bewitched, Little House on the Prairie, The Three Stitches, that sort of thing from America, and lots of TV from Mexico, which is so interesting today. I was thinking about it. I love Mexico. I mean, I 25 years I've been in New York, and we have every race in New York and all kinds of Latinos. And I have a special love for the Mexicans. And I was scratching my head, wondering why? And then I remember, well, I grew up with Mexican TV because we didn't have, the militaries would take over everything we were not able to produce, to create, because there was such, what's the word when you're oppression?
Yep, oppression.
So I grew up with Chespirito, with the, Mexican soap operas and music and all that. So that's why, that's in my, my subconscious, that was what I grew up with. So it makes sense that today, I have a special love for Mexican people.
Hey, look, come on now.
But so I'm saying it's not very original, because when you're in such a place, of course, you're going to want to go someplace else where there's freedom and it's open and it's, different. So I always wanted to come here. And then I had the opportunity when I was, I think, 19. So for those people who don't understand Argentina, Argentina economy is very psychotic. It's truly like nothing. You would never understand it. It's impossible for a foreigner to understand. I don't even know how they still do it. One day is up top, and the next day. So one day you go. Let me say this. Okay, you go buy something. Today's $20. I don't know, a plate of pasta, whatever. Tomorrow, the same plate of pasta is $80. The same thing, the same place. Okay, so it's very unpredictable, impossible. So
still to this day.
To this day, and because I've been here for so long, I always, every time I go there as a guest, as a tourist, I think, oh, they evolved by now, because I evolved, I changed a lot. And I think, okay, they have, but no, they haven't. It's kind of funny too. And they still listen to 80s music on the radio, and it's interesting. But anyway, I'm making this story too long. I got lucky at 19. My dad had some money. We never had money. We were always like lower middle class. And then I don't know what happened with the economy that particular year, because that's how it was. One year you're on top, next year you're at the bottom. It's and everyone's okay with it somehow. So my parents got divorced. My father felt guilty, that kind of thing. Everything click. And I said, I want to go and study English in America. And the lady who was setting me up, with some schools, she recommended New York City because it's nicer during the holidays, and I was coming November, December. So I just came, and that's it. And then,
Wait, by yourself?
yes, I came by myself for a couple of months, then then I went back home for a month or so, and then I returned. So then I stayed here for another 8 months. Then I went back home. My parents didn't want me to move here, but of course I already fell in love with the culture and the country and everything. I mean, it's mind blowing, especially when you come from such small,
Yeah.
small place, small-minded people. We're all the same. We
Right.
all look the same. We all talk the same. So coming here was just wow. It was so good. And obviously, and I didn't know at the time. So when I came, I was considered, exotic. I was obviously truly fresh off the boat. I still have an accent today, but at the time, I'm sure my English was much worse. And I had a thicker accent, I'm sure. And anyway, but I was just so happy to be here that it didn't faze me. So I know, looking back in my beginning years, I think I I was discriminated a lot, like to my face.
Oh,
I
wow.
guess I couldn't care less. I brushed it off. I was just so happy to be here. I was like Magoo. And that's my formula, right, for life. Just stay in your bubble and do your thing, keep going, and you will succeed.
Mm-hmm.
And
So,
I'm sorry, continue.
so what would be if you had to look back at that moment in time? 19, coming to the United States, trying to learn English as well too, leaving your family behind, leaving your community behind, coming to a distant place, knowing that you potentially going to be living here for some time. What was like the biggest challenge?
Um, Honestly, the biggest challenge was the language. The one thing I remember from those days is having a horrible headache because I did an immersive program. I was living with an American family, and on purpose, because I wanted to learn. So I used to go to school from 9 to 4 or whatever it was, English, 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 and then go home, English, 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 and I would go to the movies in English, and it was exhausting and it was hard. That part was hard. I couldn't understand half the stuff that was happening, and it's very frustrating.
That would be
I didn't know. I didn't know what people were saying because you study and you learn. My grammar was very good, but it's getting the year used to. It's anyway. So that was really, really hard for me. And then I made a couple of friends, but also making friends was a little weird. Like I said, when you're different, and it's just, and I'm very intuitive. So, you feel it when you're like, so that was the first year or so was uncomfortable. Let's just say it was uncomfortable.
Yeah, I could imagine so.
Yeah. But then, I got over it eventually. It's fine.
It's a lot of our thought leaders when they do talk about their first experience, they said yes, obviously the language was definitely one of the hardest things to kind of adjust to, right? And kind of making friends, right? Because you just don't know who to trust, who's there to support you along the way. But I know you coming in from Argentina, you're already on cloud nine. You, like you said, you were like, look, stay in your bubble, work hard, stay with you, find your tribe. And I think something I want to kind of like talk about a little bit before we dive a little bit more into like New York and the lifestyle and how you got through that was I realized something a little earlier before you left Argentina at a very young age. I think when maybe 16 or 17, you found your first business, right? And the reason why I'm bringing that up is because I would assume being a business owner, right, or learning how to establish yourself, it helps build a certain level of confidence in someone. And obviously transition into New York, granted, totally different. It's not a business, but the level of confidence, knowing how to advocate for yourself, knowing how to speak up, was possibly going to help transition into that lifestyle. So talk to me about that.
Yes, sure. I think, yeah, what you're saying is true. I have great confidence. I have confidence in general. And maybe, I don't know if that's something that can be learned. You either are or you aren't. I don't know. I don't know. Well, the thing is, so I started, the business was children entertainment company. And I think, I can't remember if it was 16 or 17, let's say 17, because my birthday is in August. So maybe it was towards the beginning of the years, March, the school year starts in March. And if you ask me, this is interesting that you put it this way, because I didn't feel it's a business. I started a business, but I did.
Yeah.
And I was successful. And
Yeah, I was
it
gonna
was
say.
really successful. Like, this is back, I mean, this is, I'm going to age myself, but it's 1989, around there. And so it's not even the 90s, it's late 80s, early 90s, no computers, no. What we did, we put paper, photocopy papers in the drug stores and the groceries.
Yeah.
And
They
that's how
start
they
taping
found
things
us.
up, tacking things in.
Yep. And that's how they found us. And it was fantastic. It was mind-blowing in a way, because it's just mushroom, right? You do one party, they like you, and then those parents will tell other parents, and then now you're animating. That's what we call it, children animation. You animate all these parties. You're entertaining, the same children, and we only pretty much work with, a handful of people and families and or schools. I don't know. And then, but that dissolved at some point. We had drama between the team members. We split. That was funny too. Here's a funny story. So it started with me, and then I had to recruit classmates. So it got to a point where it was 4 of us working, because we had multiple parties sometimes. So we couldn't, and I'm not going to say no. I say yes. I take a cut right now. I mean,
it's business.
It's business. So, but remember, because there is I don't think anybody listening today can understand this. We didn't have, there was no scheduling system, no computers, no nothing. So we put the flyers up and people call one of the numbers, and that's it. So now in the flyers, we had a couple of numbers, my number and my friend's number, whatever. Now we split, right? It was 4 of us, 2 stay friends, we split 2 and 2. We were not working together anymore. We separated. So one party, we all show up to the same party, because the family called both of us not knowing. So they call one, I have a party this Saturday, blah, 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 blah. Can you make it? Yes, sure. Then they call the other number. Oh, I'm just so-and-so checking in this Saturday, this time. Oh, yes, sure. All right. Yeah. So we both show up for the same, but they hired both of us. It was funny. That's one time that happened.
Oh, wow.
I don't know how we felt. It didn't happen after that.
Was it okay? I mean,
yeah, I'm sure it was. I can't remember what we did, if somebody left or we just all stayed and then we split it 4 ways, because we were there anyway. I can't remember.
That's that's how you know the industry. It's a small industry, right? No matter how big you are.
That was hilarious. That would never happen today. Obviously, you have
because you're a lot bigger than that. You probably wouldn't see that.
And when you book and you pay a deposit, right?
Yeah.
And even now,
technology nowadays, right?
Yeah,
technology. Which brings me to one of my next questions. How has being like a first generation immigrant influenced your approach to both like entrepreneurship and like teaching like mindfulness?
What was the question again? How
does being a first generation immigrant influence like your approach to both like entrepreneurship and like teaching mindfulness? Like obviously your background coming from Argentina, has it influenced your connection with children and families?
Yes. All right. Well, yes. So I love children. I'm very childlike. this is not a, well, for those who are listening, I have a rainbow behind me and a little thing in my head. I look like a 12-year-old. So when I work with the kids, they ask me, are you a kid or an adult? I'm like, why do you think I'm a kid? Oh, because you look like a puppet. So I'm not putting on an air. I enjoy just silly things. And, I enjoy working with children.
Nothing wrong with that.
Right. And so I like to teach what worked for me. My entire life, I feel that I have been very fortunate to have a big spiritual life, a big spiritual understanding of my soul and who I am and my true essence, right? And because of that, because I trust my inner guidance, is that I did everything that I did, and I'm here today. And quite frankly, all I did, honestly, all I did is just go with the flow. What life threw at me, I'm like, okay, yes, and right. And this is something that I would like to, what's the word I'm looking for? Encourage people to try. For some, this is a really hard thing to do because we're
tunnel vision.
Hmm?
Tunnel vision.
Yeah, we want what we want this way, and this is what's going to make me happy, but it's not. You never know. So what I teach children is you're meant to be happy always. Everything will work out for you. You are blessed, you are loved, and you're always protected. Now, if you can truly believe that, if you don't believe it yet, repeat it until you fake it, until you make it, until you truly believe it. Because if
great way of saying it. That's a great way of putting it.
Yeah, and then if you believe that, there's nothing you can't achieve. For me, the 19-year-old, I came to study English almost a year, went back home. I had to stay home at it. Now I don't have any money. My father's broke again, Anyway, so I'm there for a few years, and then I came back through an au pair program. I don't know if you're familiar with
yeah.
So they pay you to come, they pay your plane ticket and whatnot, and then you're working for the family.
Taking care of the kids.
And it's a joke what they pay you, $170 a week. In New York City, I was in New Jersey, but that doesn't go too far. But the idea is that you are here for a cultural exchange program. You're not, but truly you work. I work from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m.
But were you going to school at the time?
No, nonstop. No, and then I would take classes in the evening after 6,
Okay. Yeah.
I didn't know. I had no money, and I lived with what they gave me. I couldn't. So
yeah, 170 is not going to do you anything.
No.
So you'd be lucky if you get some Starbucks with that.
No, you can't. But at the time, so I came here because I wanted to be an actress and I wanted to be on Broadway. And so I used to go and take classes in the city. And then after stay with that family for a full year until the contract was up, then I moved on. I worked with other families. And then finally I came to the city, and then I started working as a waitress, typical. And then I got a job at New York Health and Racquet Club. I did very well. They promoted me to manager and then general manager. And again, everything happened very organically.
Yeah.
And then one day, remember, I'm trying to be an actress, so I was not shy speaking in front of people and all that. So I became a wedding officiant. That took off. That mushroom, that was mind blowing. So I became a wedding officiant. New York is filled with Latinos and Spanish-speaking people. At the time, it was just me and this other girl from New Jersey she was excellent. She had a wonderful website. And we were the only competition, let's say, and it was great because there was no competition.
That's a lot of weddings right there.
Oh, we dominated the market. It was so great. And that became, so then I created an elopement company in 2015. It's an all-inclusive elopement. It's called Wedding Packages NYC. So we offer kind of like Las Vegas type of weddings, the wedding officiant, the photographer, musician, the flowers, for
Yep, yep,
couples
yep.
that want to just come and have a quick wedding, spontaneous. And that
Okay.
also did very well. So what I am trying to say is that what I've done, going back to your question, see, I go in a tangent and I forget. Now, my husband says, which sometimes I resent, but I have to admit it's probably true, that we, like people who come from abroad, actually have an advantage as opposed to them. My husband, for all intents and purposes, is a very, what's the word? Sorry.
What exactly? Give
The
me an example.
when you have everything you want, privilege.
Privilege.
My husband could be a very privileged. He's a male, he's white, blue eyes. He grew up in Long Island. He was spoiled, only child, yada, yada, yada. And yet,
Don't say it too loud and have him come in the room now.
he's not here.
I know he's like, hold on, honey, don't be talking about me on Zaka now.
Yeah, but he's not, right? He's
Okay.
very, just average. And
Yeah.
So he says that because of my history, because of my background, because I left, I have this room, this kind of extra
Fire.
energy, extra fire, extra hunger, extra force. And there could be some truth to that, right? That's like other people who had terrible poverty, and then they rise to be millionaires, like super, because that upbringing of being so poor is what feeds the hunger and the desire, and it makes them driven. And when you have kind of a cozy life and
it's a lot of our thought leaders that I've spoken to, they, when they first came here, they didn't really say it. They didn't believe in it. But as they got further through the process, they started to realize being an immigrant was actually a superpower. Speaking different languages, like as you can see, becoming doing the weddings, like speaking Spanish, you dominating the market, right? You could charge whatever at that point in time, right? Monopolize the industry, and then on top of that, when it came down in the office for a lot of them, when it came to like any corporate calls, because a lot of these businesses started to say, well, you know what, let's start getting a Latin market. Let's start taking our business out into Haiti. We have a factory out in Jamaica, whatever it is, companies start to expand. And as they expand, they start to say, well, okay, let's look internally to who's in the left and the right of us that could possibly help us in that forefront, right? In that pioneer journey. And long and behold, a lot of those immigrants were like, hey, raise my hand. And they became that superpower. And it was important. So I think your energy, your personality, your confidence has all been useful in this journey as I'm listening through it, which brings me to the next question, your business, right? As an intuitive coach, right? You have a nice, good title right there. For the people who are not familiar with the work that you do, could you just kind of explain a little bit more about an intuitive coach, working with children, working with teens?
Yes.
What does it look like for you?
Sure. Well, parallel to my regular jobs that I always had to make money, like I said, I have a very big spiritual life, and I honor my soul and my intuition and my spirit. I do believe this is what that's the reason for my life. So parallel to that, I was always involved. I got involved, I think, in 2003 with the Edgar Cayce Center in New York City. I had no idea who Edgar Cayce was. If you don't know either, he was called the sleeping prophet. He lived in the 30s in West Virginia. And he would go to sleep, go in a trance, and he could see things. Anyway, so I started teaching adults how to develop their intuition, how to trust their gut, how to meditate, how to go within and find that peace and that certainty that only your inner guidance will give you. Confidence will never come from the outside. It's always an inside. It's either.
Yep. You right about that?
Yeah. And so working with adults, I became very sad to see the resistance in many cases, resistance to grow, to learn, to understand, to try. And then I switched to teens in 2011. I was invited to work at the Omega. The Omega Institute in New York City used to have a teens camp. So I taught at the teens camp. And that was the aha moment for me. That was a life-changing experience. I'll be honest with you, I taught a tarot class. So they had lots of tarot decks over there. It was like a new age type of camp, if you don't know the Omega Institute. So I used to teach them how to read the tarot and how to develop their sixth sense, their psychic abilities through the tarot. And the response that I have from the kids was so amazing. It was so heartwarming because they were empowered, truly. They were discovering what their minds could do. And it was a beautiful thing to see. And then with the pandemic, again, honestly, I stumbled upon everything I've done. Then I started teaching meditation for children online at a place called Outschool. So I did some classes there. I started making videos for those classes, again, and the video, so I made more and more videos. I have my YouTube channel. And then the same way, I was invited to work for Halloween 3 years in a row. The former mayor of New York City used to have a Halloween event. So they invite me to go and do fortune telling for kids. And I was doing it.
A little different right there. Fortune telling for kids.
So I would do tarot readings for the kids. And I had a long line of people, the parents with their kids. And it was very popular and they loved it. The parents, obviously everything's positive, obviously. And the parents loved it because they were like, oh, that's true. Yeah, that's how she is. Oh yeah, And then from there, they invited me to go teach at a school in the Upper West Side. One teacher brought me in, then another one, then an after school program. And this is how it all mushrooms. And I started teaching mindfulness. Oh, at this point, I was already a licensed mindfulness teacher. I'm also licensed with transcendental meditation. I mean, I'm a Reiki master. I have lots of, I study.
I'm gonna say, you got to be into yoga, the Reiki.
Yeah, no yoga. I do not do yoga. I can't stand it. I can't get into it. I can't. I don't know why. I try.
Well, hey, look. You're with the chakras and the whole Reiki thing, so
yeah.
We don't. You tapped in. You tapped in. I just know that.
Just meditating,
Yeah, no, meditation. Yeah, that's good.
But the yoga, I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't know.
It's okay. I think you do a lot already, so you're good.
I do other things, and I do ballet, which I think is kind of similar to move the body in a stretchy way.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. So okay. So I'm sorry. I went on a tangent again. My goal is to teach children, and we start, so after so much work and so much learning on my part, I taught classes for 3-year-olds, for 4-year-olds, and 5-year-olds. And my conclusion is we must start all our kids, if you have kids, if you're listening at home, consider starting meditation when they are 5 years old. It only takes 5 minutes a day. All you need to do is just open the doors, give them the opportunity to have this experience, only 5 minutes a day, and it will make the world of difference. Why do we need to meditate every day? Because you want to prevent that when they grow up and they are our age, they have the problems that we have. Self-defeating thoughts, negative self-talk, insecurities, anxiety, depression, etc., which will happen, and it happens to everybody. I mean, think about Robin Williams, right? A beloved, successful, wonderful man, and he just evidently hated himself and couldn't take it anymore, right? So you love your children are healthy and happy, and you become complacent and you become cocky and think he's fine. They don't need they don't need meditation. But
Yeah.
meditation is mental hygiene. It is the equivalent of
Okay.
brushing your teeth every day. And like I said, I like to include the psychic development, the sixth sense development, the intuition, because this is like a treat. This shows them, anybody who does it, this is why we do it. Why do we meditate? You don't meditate to be calm. Who cares about being calm? You meditate to train the mind. When the mind is trained, you can accomplish, you can achieve anything that you want. And there's a lot that goes into it. It's about knowing when you need to get out of your way, knowing when you need to follow your instinct, your intuition, your gut feeling, and quieting the override of the intellect that is running our lives and the patterns that we have. Because, I mean, science has already, the science told us a long time ago that 95% of our actions and our thoughts and our feelings are in autopilot. They are run by our subconscious. And this is why for me it is so important that, especially with kids, because they are overloaded with a lot of negative, negative talk, like, they get scolded all the time. Parents get upset or angry or afraid, and they would react abruptly. And all this is normal. It will happen. You can't avoid it. If you're a parent, you're going to freak out and you're going to scream or,
Yeah.
But when that happens, a child internalizes that, and that stays in the body. And then this is how all those negative self-talk start. All this, I'm not good, I'm not worthy, of course it makes no sense. Of course you are good, you are worthy, you are loved. Your parents tell you that they love you all the time. For some reason, subconsciously, the subconscious is a bitch. So we want to defeat that. And the way to do that is with positive reinforcement. So my formula is affirmation, meditation, and gratitude. And I have lots of different playlists on my channel. The gratitude playlist was played by teachers in the Upper West Side. She said she was playing it every day, every morning, and it was really great. I try to keep them short, so there's no excuses, especially with the teachers. They always have the excuse of the time. They have no time. They need to prepare. So this is just 5 minutes of a reset, breathing, and just let your soul do what it will do. It's a little massage for your mind and for your being.
What is important because training your kids, helping your kids to understand the value of slowing down, right? In the world that we live in, technology, people are constantly on their phones, tablets. You have everyone's, they go into Starbucks to get a coffee, which was a place of relaxation, just have a conversation. Now people are going in there with their whole office trying to complete certain things. So when did you realize that, when you're speaking of all these things, first and foremost, thank you for sharing all of this, and I know our listeners are definitely gonna resonate with it and probably take into consideration, we need to start adding this into the family thing. Speaking to someone like yourself that has a good history with this stuff, when did you realize that work was bigger than just classes, and that this was actually a global mission? Because it doesn't seem to me that this is just something that you're pigeonholed in it. You're not saying, okay, I'm just gonna do it only here in New York. You seem like this is very big. This is global, from interviews to books to podcasts. You're globally getting that recognition. So when did you realize the difference?
Thank you, Paul. I like that question. Thank you. Thank you. Really, you're right. It's like you read my mind. I think it was about 2 years ago, a year and a half, maybe. Yeah, something like that. A year and a half ago. And this past last year, I'm just aching. I'm like if I were wearing something that's too small and I'm uncomfortable, I need a bigger coat, a bigger dress. And part of it is I just get so I get very, I'm very emotional. This is like, so I knock on so many doors, Paul. And every time I went to school, I hear the same thing. We have no budget. We have no budget. So no. And, so that's why I've been doing, I don't know if I mentioned this, I've been doing this for free for 10 years. So all these classes that I told you I was doing, the videos, 300 videos, nobody's paying for that.
No.
Well, no, so far,
Well, you can't, I mean, it's all a part of the process, right? That was your journey and you knew what you were doing. The person upstairs, you said you're very spiritual. You got to let that person lead you.
You're right. You're right. You're right.
So
you need
the
the information. You need the fuel. Remember, we were saying, and this is I'm enjoying this so much. Thank you very much. Really, this is like you're like a therapist, Paul. You are. This is fantastic. I love it.
They call me the Prince of Motivation, so I'm hoping that my Prince of Motivation.
You're amazing. You're amazing. Oh my goodness, I'm so happy. Thank you for having me. You are very generous, and this is very, very good. But yes, it breaks my heart to see. Well, this is how it goes. They go, oh, how wonderful. Oh, it is so important. Oh, yeah. And that's it. All right. So, everybody expressing, and then it dies there. So, yes, I am on a mission to get loud. I need to get loud. I need people to know that this is detrimental. And there's so much misinformation. I mean, I think somebody came up with this idea of meditation in lieu of timeout. So instead of timeout or detention, they do meditation. And I said, who is the moron who came up with that? And they're applauding them. They think this is a good idea. Are you nuts? This defeats the purpose. So if a child misbehaves, and after they misbehave, which they know, when you're being bad, and now as a consequence, they do X, Y, and Z, whatever the will be, this is this is going to be associated with a punishment, something that happens when you misbehave. So why would you put meditation with it, which is a sacred relationship between the mind and the spirit and the person, body and mind, and a learning of how to succeed, how to breathe, why would you put it in the same space as, oh, you were not good, you misbehaved, now you're going to go there, and you really want them to sit and think about what they did and feel excluded and isolated. So that's bad. I'm completely against the replace detention for meditation. It's stupid. Another issue I have is parents who think when I had a private practice in New York, and the only kids that would bring me were children with problems. So kids that had either social issues or they were hyperactive, things like that, which is fine. It's great. I love everybody. It was great. And, we worked great with them. That's actually extra exciting for me because they all did very well. So this is another thing. It's impossible. My kid can't meditate. Oh, it's impossible. You can't get my kid to meditate. Yes, I can. Yes, they do. Did I tell you I was invited at Columbia University on a Saturday morning? They have classes for Chinese kids. They teach them Chinese. Usually it's kids with parents who are, one is Chinese, one is American, and things like that.
Yeah.
So the teacher didn't know how to get the kids to listen to her or to be quiet. So she invited me to do my class, and I did my class, and it went like it always goes. And then how do you do it? How do you do it? And so here's what I had to say about that. For parents and anybody who wants to do this, you have to know and trust that you can do this and it's going to happen. And you have to be at peace as well. So first you have to
Yeah.
and you present the activity, and then it happens. But in this case, the teacher was already so flustered, and she was in like get everybody to listen mode, right? Get everybody, and I do the opposite. I don't care if they play and jump, and it's all good, because this is your time for you. This is a spiritual time. I'm no one to tell you what to do, how to do it. If you feel like doing something else, you can. And because of that freedom and that understanding and that respect for the soul, I don't care if you're 5 years old, you're an all soul, most likely. Most of us now on earth, now we're, usually all souls. So I have respect for that, for who you truly are. And I connect with them as at a soul level. And it goes very nicely. It goes swimmingly.
So how do you balance both the spiritual aspect and this entrepreneur aspect? You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's like entrepreneur, the American entrepreneur. Just to get a little different, right? The American culture entrepreneur, head down, we're gonna work hard, we're gonna make a lot of money, we're gonna grind, right?
Yes.
And then you got the spiritual side of you where you're like, look, let's just relax. Let's take some time to meditate. Let's take some time to enjoy life. Let's appreciate. Let's have more gratitude, more affirmations. How are you balancing both of them for yourself?
Yeah, it's just do the practice every day. So with my business, I went up and down, I'll be honest. It's been a roller coaster. And at one point, I know I was a bit tense, right? Not ideal, not the best. Because it's a tough business too, having a wedding business. When you are doing weddings, you are at a very special time in people's lives, meaning I learn, with time. I've been doing this for over 15 years. And unfortunately, it's a time where emotions run high and people are very unreasonable. Because a lot of things are happening, right?
Yeah.
The pettiness, family stuff, all this stuff plays out. And of course, if you are the bride or the groom, your emotions run high and you're being pulled in different directions. And it's just, it's a tough time for most people when they're getting married. And so you as the vendor, you're just, you have to know how to navigate that. And sometimes because I am an empath, I'm empathic, and I'm emotional too. I'm Italian and Argentinian, and you can't help what
you all about the love.
Right, but I get too involved. That's what I'm trying to say, which is sometimes it's a problem. You want to detach and you want to be more American, right? I'm sorry, we'll get back to you, like that. I remember I had this bride one time. I hated her so much. I called her a geriatric bride. I don't remember where she was from, not from New York, some other city. And she called me one day, she called me around 10 p.m. I think, I don't know if it was a Sunday or Saturday. And then next day, again, next morning, she complained because I didn't answer the phone. Why would I answer the phone? This is an elopement company. It's a spontaneous, quick, small wedding. I'm on it. I've been answering every call, every email. Why would you think that I can and I should answer a 10 p.m. call on a Saturday night? But she did. She thought I was wrong. I was, so I didn't, I'll be honest, I don't think I balanced things too well until just a few years ago. I think after the pandemic was a good time for us because
good or bad, depending on who you were.
City Hall was closed. So I did a lot of weddings online as an officiant. It's funny because some of my colleagues didn't want to do them. They hated the online weddings, but we had
you about your business.
Yeah. Yes.
You're about your business.
So for the weddings, we had 3. We had the wedding chapel that my husband opened. He wanted to have a chapel. I don't like to have, Yeah, I don't like, I like to be mobile. So I like the Central
Well,
Park.
I mean, bringing a chapel, you bring them to you.
Yes. Yes. People have to come to you. Yes.
Is he an officiant as well too?
Yes. He
Oh,
comes.
y'all
Yes.
a power couple over here.
So we met because he was a photographer. So we met because he started shooting my weddings. And of course, as a photographer, he's watching us officiants. We work for 10 minutes and then we make a couple $100 or whatever. And there he's shooting. He has to go home and edit the photos and upload and all this work. And his back was bothering him. He was like, oh, I should be doing that. So he went and he became an officiant as well.
Okay. And then he married you.
And then we got married.
You
Yes.
see that? Look, this man was plotting all the way through.
Yes.
Or he
Yeah.
was meditating on it. He
Yeah.
had some affirmations. He's like, that young lady that I see at all the weddings. One
Yeah.
of these days, I'm gonna marry her, right?
Right. He said something like that. He said he was doing photos one time and then he found himself looking at me with the camera instead of the couple. And like, oh, huh, all right. So then, yeah,
And
here we are.
so in this time frame, you mentioned stuff about Columbia University, right? And obviously, Columbia is a very well-known university within the New York area. You know, you led programs in Columbia. That's pretty big. You know, being in of immigrant background, having the opportunity to walk into that place, you know, and being in front of individuals that may not look like you, speak the language of you, that your native tongue, but in a sense, being in that room, being a leader, being a business owner, being a woman as well too. You had three things going on. How are you like that? That's a massive achievement, right? In itself, right? Some people might just look like, oh, this is Columbia. No, 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 no. It's Columbia. Know that at one point in time, it might have not been the place for individuals like ourselves to walk through those doors. Not for you to walk back in there at where you are after the many years of you trying to figure it out, from trying to learn a language to building a business to opening several businesses to doing several different things and being successful at all of them. How was that achievement for you?
Oh, I didn't notice. But it was nice. It was nice to go, but I don't know. I never thought about it, I guess. I'm still like, I still feel I haven't arrived, if that makes sense.
Girl, you have arrived. From this conversation, just letting you know, if I am the pilot, we have landed. Okay, this is big. We came off that rainbow behind you, and we landed on the other side. I'm letting you know, because you've been touching down on a lot of great things, and the things that you're doing are not just for you. It really inspires a community of people around you, from kids to teens to adults, to helping people live a better lifestyle, mindset, how to meditate, how to calm yourself down when you're in those moments of depression or anxiety. Mental health is a very big thing in the world of today. Therapy was not looked at one point as a very good thing. And I know a lot of our thought leaders didn't have access to those things as immigrants coming into the United States. It was more like, hey, just drink some tea and you'll be fine. You know, have some Advil and you'll be good. But now we have access to those things, and thought leaders like yourself are leading that as pioneers, being like, look, let's do it as in regards to meditation. So kudos to you. You have officially arrived. I don't know how many more accolades you need, from books to podcasts to Telemundo to
Oh,
New York Times. Like, girl, you stamped out.
well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you,
That's
Paul. It
that's a
means a
lot.
lot to me. Thank you.
That's a lot.
Still, no, I feel I haven't arrived because nobody's into it yet. I want to make this like yoga. You know how yoga is that everybody does yoga a few years
Yeah,
ago? What's yoga? Yoga.
100%.
But now it's like so fancy, so like, I mean, my goodness, Lululemon, and then the other one, and they
Yes.
charge all this ridiculous amount of money for yoga pants. Are you serious? Yes, they did it. So
Yeah,
I
they
want
crossed
it
over,
to
but
be mainstream. I
it,
want meditation for children to be mainstream. It's still not.
it
So
and it's I think that when it comes down to it's a little bit harder to cross over sometimes to the kids, because parents are very protective, right? They're like, wait, hold up. What are you gonna do to my kid? Is it gonna
right.
change them? Is it gonna make them do this? You know, because there's a lot of influences outside of just the regular schools, institutions, and stuff like that, where kids are now like, well, I thought I was this, but I think I'm really this now, right?
Right.
And so I think that parent might be a little bit protected, but I think you're going about it the right way. And I feel like your energy alone makes it a safe space for kids and adults to appreciate the work that you're doing. You worked a lot on yourself, and it's been very big. And I think that the same way you have had success over the many years and the many things that you have touched on, just know that this is a big one for you, and it's going to get even bigger.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
So what's next for you? You've done a
Well,
lot. You've accomplished a lot. So as my last question to you, you've done a lot, right? And your energy alone helps you to navigate through all the craziness and a lot. But like, what's next? What would be the next big thing for you? And how would you navigate that?
the next big thing, I want to have a TV show for children that's about spirituality and going within and learning how to navigate emotions the right way, the real way.
Okay.
And
Okay.
buzzwords, but real stuff.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That is amazing. I mean, you'll be one of the first, or if not the first individual I know that is doing something like that. So I know people have touched on it, but it's a very hard field to move into if you're not organically, authentically there, right? It's not just a check. It's about changing the perspective of someone. It's about being a coach. It's about being a mentor. It's about being a bigger brother, a bigger sister, a mother, and a father to all these individuals. So there's a lot of hats to wear, and you're definitely the individual to wear
Thank you. Thank you very much. You're such a delight.
it. Hey, look, I'm just pressing play with you here on the Zaka platform because I feel like, having thought leaders like yourself that have come from, a distant country, learning a language, traveling, learning, a lot of ups and downs. Like you said, you're like, you just don't even know, right? You talked about in Argentina how, the price could be $20 today and it could be $80 tomorrow.
Yes.
Your life was like that. You just didn't know. You just didn't know. But no matter the obstacles, no matter how far the diagram went, too high and too low, you continuously move forward. And with you moving forward with a positive mindset and applying what you already know very well in your own personal life, you've achieved greatness. If you didn't believe in what you do, you wouldn't be here on this platform possibly speaking to us right now. And the fact that you're taking the time to share that and give our listeners an opportunity to understand that we need to do a better job of mentally helping ourselves, because when we mentally feel better, we then feel stronger within ourselves. So thank you, Veronica, for just being present on this platform, sharing your story, your journey, and your goals with us. And we're looking forward to one day turning on that TV and seeing you on the big screen and being like, look, I done interviewed that woman right there. If she didn't think she landed then, she definitely landed now.
Thank you. So from your mouth to God's ears.
Come
That's
on. He got some big ears like Dumbo. So I just want to let our listeners know, after an amazing conversation with you, Veronica, if you want to hear more inspirational stories like Veronica, please check us out on ZakaConnect.com. Follow us on our social at Zaka Connect and follow our feed Zaka wherever you listen to your podcast.